the most famous maritime disaster in history. Did a book published 14 years before the maiden voyage accurately predict her sinking? The book features several eerily similar coincidences to the Titanic disaster. A grand new ocean liner considered unsinkable, called the Titan, strikes an iceberg in the freezing North Atlantic and sinks without enough lifeboats on board. In 1898, long before the Titanic was conceptualized, American author Morgan Robertson wrote a novella called Futility. Published by the firm of M.F. Mansfield, the book tells the story of a disgraced former U.S. Navy officer who ends up working as a deckhand aboard the doomed ship. There are remarkable similarities to the real-life Titanic story, including the name of the ship being called the Titan. Like Titanic, the Titan, it was loaded with the wealthiest passengers in the world. Both ships could carry 3,000 people, and both had enough lifeboats for only a fraction of this number. It was called the longest and fastest ship in the world, with the Titan measuring 800 feet long, compared to the 882-foot Titanic. Both ships were triple screw and could reach speeds of 24 to 25 knots. The Titan, much like Titanic, was considered unsinkable, and she was steaming from Ireland to New York in April, exactly as Titanic did. After striking an iceberg head-on in the North Atlantic, the realization that the damage was fatal was not immediately apparent. Just like Titanic, most of the passengers and crew perished in the freezing North Atlantic waters. The rest of the book covers the aftermath of the sinking, with only 13 survivors and the subsequent attempt to cover up the blame for the disaster. In the months following the Titanic's sinking, the book was retitled The Wreck of the Titan by the publishing company to capitalize on the international media frenzy surrounding the disaster. Some credited Robertson with precognition, which he denied, but the coincidences are undoubtedly remarkable. Walter Lord's best-selling book, A Night to Remember, begins with a summary of Robertson's novel.